Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Flora and today we are talking about the truth about renting in Florence as a foreigner. When I first moved to Florence, I thought finding an apartment would be very simple. I was so wrong. So in this video, I wanted to share with you everything that I learned the hard way. Not just where to look for apartments, but also how the system really works, what to watch out for, and the small details that can make the difference between loving your home here or feeling completely stressed out. These are the tips and tricks that I wish someone had told me before I started searching for an apartment in Florence. Let's begin! Costs and reality. The first shock for me was the costs. Even a small apartment in a nice neighborhood can run higher than expected. And then there are the deposit fees, agency fees if you're renting with an agency, and sometimes even extra expenses you won't see on the listing. Florence is beautiful, but it's not the cheapest, especially if you're used to a smaller European city. Now I will show you some clips of the website that I use most for renting in Italy, subito.it and Idealista. In both websites I will show you what you can get in Florence until €1,000 a month and what you can get up to 5,000. So this is the first website. You go to the categories and immobili and you type in appartamenti. Here we're gonna put in Firenze. You can also use provincia, so you have more choice. And it shows us the results. I'm going to put in affitto, to rent. And this we're going to put privato. You can also put azienda if you want to do an agency. The price from 0 until, let's do 1,000. And now we're going to see the results. We choose this one to see what it has to offer. It says bilocale, so it has a separate bedroom. So it says 35 square meters. So it has a bedroom and it's on the ground floor. It says a living room, a little kitchen. It says no spese condominiali, so this one is free from that cost. Riscaldamento autonomo, we will talk about that. You see the classe energetica. A is not really good. The best one is A+. You see this person has a 5-star review, which is really good. And we're looking at the photos. Pretty decent. Not a lot of light, I think. Yeah, you see very small windows. There's you can see the small windows and the entrance to the garden. This is the garden space. And a little wardrobe. I mean, €1,000. It's not cheap because it's not super big. It's only 35 square meters. So let's change the price point. Let's go from 1,500 till 5,000. Let's see what they have in Florence. €5,000. Let's see what it is. It's an apartamento in the hills, in the Florentine hills. 6 liked it already. 250 square meters, 6 rooms, ground floor, more than 3 bathrooms. There's a garden, it's furniture, air conditioning. This has the A+ classe energetica, which is good, but you will save some money on that. Telephone number again. I look at the photos. Beautiful fireplace. 5,000 euros. Beautiful high ceilings. Yeah, some they put really bad photos, but you have to try to look through bad angles, bad light. I'm always surprised how that's even possible to make bad looking photos of a beautiful space. But yeah, that's 5,000. Now we're on the other website, idealista.it. Here you can change the language if you wish. I will do the Italian ones. Again, we go affitto and we type in Florence, Firenze. Always filter the recent ones, recenti. Prezzo, we're gonna do again until 1,000. So we're gonna see this one. See, it's privato, Filippo. Yeah, for this one you would need to make a profile, which is nice. I see you can already see the telephone numbers, but I would just make a profile. You can see a lot of information. You can even put it into Google Translate or just change the language. Here it says a caparra from March available. You can see some photos. A bit dark. Separate bedroom. And a video. Yeah. You see, you can get a pretty nice idea of the place. And now we're changing the price from right here, from 1,500. Here you cannot even do 1,800, so it's more precise. Till, let's do illimitato. Wow, that one looks really, really pretty. The 3,000 one. It also says di lusso, luxurious. 120 square meters. And direct to Piazza Santo Spirito. So it's super central. Well, it's not the centro storico, but it's a really beautiful area as well. That has its own center, more or less. Look at the art. If you like this, then it's perfect. So several bedrooms. Yeah, so you definitely pay for the location. Costs besides the rent alone. Here are some costs that you usually don't see in the listings and that I would like to share with you. First of all, the condominium fees. In Italy they are called spese condominiali. And these can be excluded from advertised rents. Usually they vary from 50 up to 150 euros a month. And the fees are mandatory, typically monthly payments made by unit owners to a homeowners association or condo board. And these fees cover maintenance, repairs and insurance for common areas of the building. Cleaning, repairing and lighting in hallways, lobbies, roofs and exterior walls. Sometimes the water is included in the condominium, sometimes not. You have to ask your landlord about this. 2. A caparra. You pay a deposit which is called a caparra before the first month of rent. Usually it is 2 or 3 months. If you rent with an agency, you also pay that agency a fee, which is usually the same as 1 month rent. So in the first month, you can pay up to 3 to 5 months of rent, depending on your situation. The deposit with a private landlord, you usually get back like this. If you pay 2 months or more of caparra, the last month you don't pay any rent, and the other month of caparra they will use to cover the bills. But the bills, they always come after the consumption. So usually when you leave a place, for example, if you leave in July, the rest of the bills will come in September or something like that, and then they can do the recalculation, and then they can send you, if there's money left to pay you, or if they use everything for the bills. So you have to keep contact with the landlord about this. Three, the bollette, or the bills. In Italy, usually they come 2 or 3 months after the consuming month, and it's not a prezzo fisso like in Holland. The bills you either pay directly to the landlord himself, if everything is in his name, or you pay it yourself if the contracts are on your name. Usually you pay the bollette not online. I know it is possible, but it's not always the case. And you can pay these at a tabaccheria place. It's the same place where you buy newspapers, cigarettes, and whatnot. In Italy, most apartments are metered, and so you pay for what you actually consume. If you move into an apartment that's already had previous tenants, sometimes the last bill is used as a reference, and the provider might ask you to pay a deposit or an estimated advance at first. After the meter is read, the final calculation corrects any over or underpayment. So always make a photo of the meters when you enter the house as a reference. And often landlords will give you an estimated bill for the first month or two based on past usage. And then you settle with the provider once your meter readings are official. I always ask landlords when I'm visiting a place if they can show me some of the bollette, which is quite normal, I believe, to ask. 4. Heating. Heating in Italy is a very specific cost, and when you rent a place, they either say that the appartamento has a riscaldamento centralizzato, centralized heating, or riscaldamento autonomo, autonomous heating. The first one is a fixed price that you pay from the months November until April, and you have no control on when you have the heating on. The heating is switched on by this centralized system, and it is usually in the morning from 6 until 10-ish a.m., and then it goes off automatically, and then it goes back on the evening from 4:30 more or less until 10 or so. If you work from home, this means you have no heating during the whole day. With the autonomous heating, you have control when you switch it on or not. I prefer this type. If you have a home with double glass, you're probably much warmer in winter and cooler in summer. I think it even has little to no sense of heating if you have one side of glass in your windows and doors. To give you an example, I shared a house with one person and I pay 46 euros per person every month, so the whole apartment is 92 just for the heating. And the houses in Italy are meant to be cool inside, not warm. And in wintertime, you really notice this, unless your house is well renovated, and if you have double glass doors and windows, then yes, it makes sense. But I think I would always choose the autonomo, because you will pay, if with a centralized one, you pay a lot, and if you have shitty isolation, you're paying for air that just leaving your home as soon as the heating is switched off. So yes, those old historical buildings are beautiful to live in, but it's also less comfortable in winter and summer. 5. The TARI. There is every year this tax you pay for waste collection. It is around 300 euro for the whole year, and in Rome this is close to 400, so 100 difference. 6. You pay automatically for a TV abbonamento. And for the year 2026, this is going to be 90 euros for the whole year in Florence. I believe if you can show that you don't have a TV, you can declare it at the Agenzia delle Entrate and you're free from paying. You can do this by a dichiarazione sostitutiva, an exemption form, and you can submit this form online if you have a SPID or via a PEC or via an email. These, if you don't understand what these things are, that's an whole other video. I wanted to wrap up this video right here, otherwise it's becoming too long. I would like to make a part 2 of this one because I think it's an important subject. In part 2 I will talk about the quartiere and other tips and tricks. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful in any way. And if you're also figuring out life in Italy, the beautiful parts and the complicated ones, you're very welcome to stay here and stick around. And yeah, see you in the next one. Alla prossima. Ciao.